Some years ago, there was in, I believe, Poland, a situation which raised a few eyebrows. The chaplain to a good convent had someone to present to the sisters. This lady was a soldier, a female soldier, and she had had enough. She took or tried to take her own life. Fortunately, they were able to get her back just about. And it was the chaplain who was there, eyeball to eyeball, with this soul on the frontier between time and eternity. As she came to, she said to him, "Do you know I have power to get you into prison? Right now, my dear, you haven't got an awful lot of power. Do you realize the state that you're in?" I had had enough. It was the soldiers. Night after night I was with the soldiers, and I wanted to vomit myself out of existence. I'd had enough of myself. Well, we've got you back. Which way do you want to go? I don't want to go back there. Can you do anything about it? Have you been baptized? Not a bit of it. Would you like to be? Well, anything that will get me out of this place. Okay, I'll take care of you. He took her by the hand, brought her to the convent and said, "I have brought you a postulant. The only thing is that we first of all must baptize her. The rest is history." She became a holy nun. One day, the curé Vaz was in his box. This gentleman had a gun in his hand, actually a hunter's gun. He was doing his thing that particular day, having a good time, but was curious about this huge number of people going in one direction. So he thought to himself, there must be a reason. I'll go and have a look. Where are they all going? They're all going to see this holy priest. We'll see. And so, out of curiosity, he went to see him. And because the men had a shorter wait than the women, he got there without too much of a delay. The curé Vaz opened the guichet of the confessional and said, "Vous irez à la trappe." You will go to la trappe. And so it was. Another day, a young girl of 18, a bit coquette, fond of getting her eyelashes correct, came to the box. The curé Vaz opened the guichet and said, "Vous serez religieuse. You will be a nun." No, 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 no! See, 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 see. And so she was. At Medjugorje, things not dissimilar actually happened. Many are the testimonies that I have heard of people who came still on heavy drugs, still into all kinds of weird and wonderful habits, and hit between the eyes by something they weren't quite expecting. And many vocations have come from those U-turns. We may not have noticed the context of this gospel of today. The Lord is answering a criticism, and he's giving an indirect dig. Those who have no need of repentance. I wonder if they copped on. And we actually could be in that group. We tend, do we not, to label people. Label people. One of the big labels in Ireland is the travelling community. Okay, there are problems, but they're all individuals. And I can tell you that God is very much present there where they're at. I've had many testimonies of direct interventions of heaven, I mean miracles and dreams and so on and so forth, where directly God has had access to their simple heart far more, perhaps, than to many a self-sufficient, normal Christian or even professional Christian who has grown out of that kind of thing. The first reading asks us to cast our burden on the Lord. Somebody was dying recently and said this on his deathbed: all the worrying I did in my life didn't serve me an awful lot, because very few of the things I worried about happened anyway. Worry is a self-defense mechanism to avert disaster. The person who gambles compulsively has lost it. The person who drives the car irresponsibly has lost it. The person also who lets go and goes to the maximum in a temper may, for a fraction of a moment at least, have lost it. Worry has gone out of the window when it was actually needed to keep us from ourselves. Students who spend a lot of time messing around on internet when they should be actually studying, even close to the exams, they too have lost it. But worry out of control can mess up our life. I will teach you a secret if you're willing to learn. We're not God. We don't command life or time. We receive. Go through life in receptive mode and let things happen. You will be a free soul. If you demand that such and such a thing happen or happen not, you are in bondage. You are in bondage to what you yourself have laid down as a condition for your felicity. A person who has abdicated over the universe receives the universe. One day, the philosopher Diogenes was in the barrow that he lived in. He was well known in the ancient world, and people would come from afar to consult him in his barrow. One day, one of the greatest magnates of history, Alexander the Great, came to visit him, to consult him. Diogenes peeped out of his barrow and said to him, "Get out of my sun!" And the emperor realized that Diogenes owned more of the universe than he did. Just this morning, I was thinking about a question my mother had put to me one day years ago when she came to visit me in Italy. She heard a conversation and she heard one word being repeated and wanted to know its meaning. So she asked, after the conversation was over, "Beth yw ystyr oggi?" What is the meaning of oggi? What is the meaning of today? I thought that question will take a whole life to answer. What is the meaning of today? Today, free of undue worry, lived in its fullness when it's in our hands, is all of time. This happens to be a birthday of one of the people here, and it's something which is a milestone as we go through life, every birthday. Sit on the moment and pause. How did I spend the last year? How will I spend the next? Is time going too quickly? Am I using the graces? Am I messing up my time by too many demands over the universe? Let it be, and you will be free.
Oggi, today. My mother asked the meaning of the word oggi. Tomorrow never was and never came across the patient skies, nor shall this day or hour or moment ever have a name beyond this that bids it be, and holds its sway within the dangled aeons that are not or ever were, save in a twinkle missed by all that e'er it sought. For but a spot held all that shall through gyral orbs have hissed. O little dot, the plot of all the earth, the house of humankind, the common place, not treasured, for not measured for its worth. 'Tween tap and tiny tapping is there space for all our morrows long, or is today a hollow that tomorrow goes its way?